Hello. Yeggooner. Just after, before we start, just want to say, please subscribe, please like the video. Um, if you have any thoughts about what we discussed today in the comment section, just write down any of your thoughts and then we can go over it all together as a community. I want to start building this community, and the only way I can do that is if you like the video, then like it. If you don't like the video, put up thumbs down, tell me what's wrong, and we can sort it out. You get me? Or I can try and sort it out. You feel me? And also, share it. Share it with a friend. See what they think about it. See what their thoughts are, and then we can go move together. You get me? You feel me? So, I'm a bit late with this video. I apologize. I was trying to watch the games, and then after watch the games, see how I can get the Champions League flowing as well. But because Chelsea played Monday, Champions League was on Tuesday, and I'll be dead serious with you, that Chelsea game put me to sleep. So when the Chelsea game put me to sleep, had some you know how it goes, man. Like when you watch a boring game, usually it's Man United for me. Live in YG, Canada, Edmonton. So last season a lot I struggled with Man United because they were so boring and rubbish. Bro, that institution has failed. And they were boring and rubbish, and so it was hard for me to watch the full game. I'd pass out at 5 a.m. and then wake up whenever the goals go on. It kind of happened with the Chelsea game as well. But I apologize. And so because of that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk on what the results have done. So instead of analyzing all of the games, I'm going to talk about what the results has done, because I'm sure you've already got your doses. I'm sure you enjoyed that 6-0 thriller from Arsenal. Our biggest away victory. Newcastle has not been pumped 6-0 in, I believe it's 60 years. Right? Oh no, sorry, not Newcastle, West Ham. And so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the... Okay, so this is the league, yeah? I'm going to try my best to talk about the relegation battle a little bit more, because what I've been doing, I've been dissecting the league and just talking about the top kind of half and not the bottom half. Everything that happens in the middle, in my personal opinion, is just a shuffle. You get me? That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is relegation battle and the top 7. It is now. What we could get is 5 places with the coefficient, with the way that the Champions League is going. So as long as City keep doing what they're doing, and Arsenal playing Porto next week, if Arsenal can make the doubters eat their words and do an away fixture in Portugal and get the W, if we can get past this round, it helps the whole of the Premier League. So all those Arsenal haters out there, right? Rally together. Let Arsenal get out of that first part, and it helps the whole league because the coefficient gets better. The more Italian teams get knocked out early, the better. So I need my Atleti fans to get on to Inter Milan. It's gonna be hard for these Bayern Munich fans to get onto Lazio, but that's another day. But basically, what I'm trying to do with this long ramble is basically tell you that we're trying to get that 5 coefficient spot, or it'll be good to have the 5 coefficient spot. As an Arsenal fan, I don't think it really it doesn't benefit me anyway. It just means that the league that I watch, the league that I support it as a whole, just looks better with the 5th spot. But what I'm trying to get at is that basically, like I said before, February is when we start to see the brackets form. Okay, so where we see the brackets form. So the European spots are divided, and who are fighting for the European spots are divided up. Who's going for the titles divided up. And what we have is a 3-horse race with the 4th horse That being Tottenham Fried Chicken. Villa is no longer in it. Villa's in a top four slash Europa League fight. Spurs are trailing behind. They didn't get a horse. Actually, no, they stepped in a pothole. The horse, unfortunately, is no longer with us. And now they're on donkey. Donkeys have good stamina. So we'll see how that flows. But what's going to happen now is the top 3 teams cannot drop points. We can't drop points. I said I wasn't going to analyze the game too much. But in order for me to get my point across with all of these teams, I need to analyze at least one game. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about each of the 3 horses in this race. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about Europa spots, and I'll talk about the Conference League spots last. So we'll start off with the boring horse, the lukewarm horse, the one horse inside this race that is not red. We'll start off with City. City have a game in hand. They have the best manager, or they have the best manager out of the 3 teams. They have the best players out of the 3 teams. They do not have I would say, big bench. That's a misconception. They don't have a big bench. They have a quality bench, which means that any one of their bench players could step into their quality bench players could step into any one of these Premier League teams and start. If not start, give big competition to the starter players. So what I mean by that is Oscar Bob is, I would say, better than Reece Nelson. That is on our bench. I believe Oscar Bob could do a job on the right hand side if Saka wasn't around, and we wouldn't have any trouble with it. So that's what I mean by quality in depth. Okay, so Manchester City have more quality in depth. They have the better manager. They also have a game in hand. Points on the board is always better than a game in hand, but they do have a game in hand. They are level on points with Arsenal. They are winning by goal difference alone. And so what we have is they are playing Liverpool, Anfield. Everyone mark that on your calendars. They are also playing Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. Mark that on your calendars. They are also playing Chelsea this weekend. I actually think you should mark this down on your calendars. I think the Chelsea game gives us an idea of how these men are going to be moving. If they, I'm not saying better. I don't care. Like, when it comes down to it, if you're a City fan, you don't care how they get across the line. If you're Pep Guardiola, you do care, but you don't care at the same time because you just want to get across the line against Chelsea. It is at your home ground. Chelsea have a terrible away record at the Big Six. And so what I'm saying is that Manchester City, if they win against Chelsea, no matter how they win, they are not losing points throughout this whole race, apart from when they face Arsenal at the Etihad, which I do believe will be a draw. And it's going to be a stinker. It's going to be boring. It's going to be those tactical chess matches they used to have with Liverpool. Because that's what happens whenever Arteta and Pep play each other at the start of this season. Every game they have played has been a tactical chess match. I like to watch the intricate play, but some people say it's not entertaining. If you're a purist, you like the tactics and the tactician and like the tactical play that's going on, but it's not for entertainment. It's more or less for a purist. And so, with that being said, they have, in my opinion, in my opinion, I don't think they're the outright favourites. And so that's why I go to Liverpool. Liverpool have to go to Manchester United. Mark that in your calendars. We've already marked the Anfield game with City. They also play Tottenham. I think Liverpool are going to beat City. I think they're going to go to Old Trafford, a difficult part in their journey to the title, and I think that they get that across the line. But they're playing a cup final versus Chelsea again. I think Chelsea have a very pivotal part to play inside this title race. I think they're the litmus test. If they beat Chelsea in the cup final, obviously it's not the league, then I also believe they're not going to lose a single game for the rest of the season. They won't lose a single game for the rest of the season. They beat Chelsea, and again, it doesn't matter if it's convincing, doesn't matter if it's pens. If they beat Chelsea, the taste of that champagne after winning the Caparano Cup is going to give them what it takes to just not lose a game. And that's the issue for, I believe, Liverpool. They might draw games. That's the issue for them. They might draw games. But they will beat City at the Etihad. I'm not putting chest on it. The reason I'm not putting chest on it is because City have beaten Spurs in their stadium for the first time this season. If City are going to beat Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool at Anfield at any point in time, it would be now that Klopp is leaving. It would be now to get the 4th title in a row. It would be now to get a double treble. I wouldn't put it past Pep Guardiola and the City side to do that, to finally beat Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool at home there. I'm not putting chest on it, but I'm saying I believe Liverpool are favourites to win that. And with that being said, I do believe that I have 40% for City winning the league, 40% for Liverpool winning the league. And now I will talk on my beautiful Arsenal. That game against West Ham, I believe last game week I talked about how we were speeding up and breaking lines. Jorginho did not play this game, but we were still able to do so. Reason we were able to do so is because Arteta did something that I've criticized him for not doing. He looked at West Ham, saw something, and made an in-game change to fix it. Kivior was not inverting. Ben White never inverts. He then put Ben White to invert because he didn't have any. He had no chest that the Ben Johnson would do anything, even if Ben White inverted. And that one change changed the whole game. And what that did is Odegaard wasn't dropping back as much to pick up the ball. And because he wasn't doing that, he was able to go in his pockets on the right hand side in the middle of the pitch and to find passes and break the lines, which is how I've been saying that we're trying to push the gears up now in the second half of the season. And I believe that now we're gonna see more of that hybrid control game. So we'll control games and we'll have those fast transitional plays and open play and that fluid front four that we had last season. But it's going to be a little bit more controlled. What we're going at right now is not third gear but second gear. In March, I'm not even in March, after we beat Porto, I believe then we'll see us go into third gear. And with that said, I believe we have 20% chance to win the league. But after each game week, these percentages changes based on what I'm going to be seeing, right? And I don't know, like, you guys tell me what you think. Now I'm going to go to Europa spots. I believe now Aston Villa is trying to fight for Europa League spots, and I'm not too sure like how that's going to flow for them. They're not doing too well lately. Man United is also in that running, but I believe Man United get on top of them. I believe Man United get 5th, which is why I was talking about those Champions League spots as well. And so if Man United get 5th versus Aston Villa, it's gonna next season is gonna be very interesting, especially with that new Champions League format. and especially with the fact that Man United are making lots of changes in terms of their like, we don't want to be the most disgraceful institution inside the English, no, in football in general anymore, because we have all of the infrastructure, and it's time for us to start using our infrastructure, start using our power in the correct way versus spending money recklessly, right? Like spending money like flipping Paris Hilton and the Kardashians, just throwing it because daddy's giving us all this money, is wasting on garbage like BBLs and lip fillers and whatnot. That's what Man United have done. They've just glamored up their club to look like they're good by buying all of these stars that don't do anything, and will not even not do anything. They buy these stars, you don't know how to use them, and it just crashes and burns. So Man United, I believe, are trying to get to that Europa spot, and I believe they'll finish 5th. And last but not least, I'll touch on Chelsea. Chelsea won a game. It was boring. I slept through it because it was garbage. Actually, no, I'll call them Chelsea. I won't call them West London Blue Cowboys. Actually, no, West London Blue Cowboys. They're still West London Blue Cowboys until they get back to where they should be. West London Blue Cowboys played a terrible game. It stunk. Caicedo was average. Enzo Fernandez wasn't that great. But who cares? They're young players. Why should they be the ones carrying this team? They should be able to go into a team, have up and down performances until they find their place.